Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Adrielle, and I am currently narrating a story of my life dating back from January 2016. In a previous episode, I uploaded Brandon and Caitlin's IG Live, and in this episode, I'm just going to give my commentary of what was said and also thoughts of other things as well. So, here it goes.
Hey, babe.
Yeah.
When's the engagement? My friends want to know.
Can they let us enjoy our moment right now before I start giving them all my information? Whoa!
Why you sounding like it ain't about to happen?
No, it is. I'm saying, like, can I get my time to enjoy this before they get to know, before I get to actually pick my date? Y'all so nosy.
Well, Brandon, you dated someone that puts their entire business on the internet. So yeah, people are going to be nosy. What did you expect? And y'all, I was kind of confused by that because it's like y'all put up all these captions on social media about getting married, and why are you talking about, put your noses away, can we have our own time? It's like, dude, you put y'all business on the internet. What are you talking about? I didn't get that part.
Okay. Don't let him front like he ain't been trying to go to the courthouse the past 6 months.
I'm still all for that. Absolutely.
He's like...
I would have done it, like you said, 6 months ago.
He's like...
Courthouse me up.
I was shocked that Brandon said that because I honestly believe that Brandon did not love Caitlin, did not want to be with her at all. So how did he go from running away from her in 2017, 2018, 2019 to reconnecting with her and saying stuff like, hey, we could have gone to the courthouse 6 months ago? I'm like, where is this energy coming from? I'm confused, y'all. I was really confused at that moment.
Why did we end up back together? Because I had to glow up in the century, huh, babe? You think I'm hot? Huh, babe?
I don't know, maybe, I feel like that was kind of answered in our captions.
Why did Brandon do Caitlin like that? That was what I was thinking in my head. You know what I was starting to think at this point, y'all? I'm like, y'all, Brandon does not want to be on this live. He doesn't. He's just saying things just to make the atmosphere seem cool and calm and collected, but I can tell he wasn't trying to get on the live, y'all.
Yeah, there's things, I guess you can, like, she has some nice teeth, cool.
He was like, those are some good teeth. What's up, big head?
I did
was
not
like,
say what's up, big head.
like my calendar in my house, like, had every weekend written down. Like, Josh is coming! Josh is coming! But then it got to the point where he was coming, there were times he would literally go home for 4 days.
Yeah, I would like.
Didn't he go home for like
I would
2
go.
days?
I would go back to work
half?
for like a little bit and then leave. I would go back on a Monday, work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning, get on a flight Thursday night, and come back.
Yeah, there was one time that he was here. Like, he missed so many flights, and it was not on accident. Like, he'd be like, oh, we just need to get to the airport 30 minutes before.
Well, OKC Airport is a joke.
Okay, but then he would, like, piddle paddle here, and then we ended up getting to the airport 8 minutes before his flight, and he'd be like, babe, I missed the flight. Can you come get me? And he totally was not.
I didn't want to go. So.
Yeah, then he'd get back in the car with me and be like, kind of nervous to text my boss, but hey, I ain't leaving.
When they discussed Brandon strategically missing his flights and skipping out on work, I was like, man, that's irresponsible. That's irresponsible. And them smiling about it, and I'm like, that's not... Like, to me, it came off as Brandon was unserious. It's like, why would you skip out on work to have fun? It's not like an emergency happened, but you're purposely skipping out on work just to have fun. I just thought that he was being irresponsible, and it kind of made me look at him as someone who was being immature.
Josh's family, I actually did not know them. I never met them because I knew his brother from back when we dated. I never went to Georgia, so I didn't meet his parents. But so this time it was just like Josh wanted to move here, and I was like, hell yeah, Rui's for life, blah blah. And I'm just like on a high, and I'm excited and blah blah. And then my dad, the wise old elf, he was like, I support it, but do not let him move here until you've met his family. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, so.
So that surprised me. I was surprised that Brandon wanted to move to Oklahoma, and I was surprised that he was willing to move without Caitlin actually meeting his parents. So, I mean, I don't know. I was just confused by that.
That's how we sit.
No, you don't.
Well, I just haven't bought
What?
it here. I love that.
What?
Crown.
What? You got it with me. I can do it. Or you want me to
Sit on down, girl.
That's like the third or fourth time that Brandon got up during the live, y'all. That was his way of saying, I don't want to be on this thing.
Why did y'all break up before? I'll give you that one.
I mean, if you've seen the post, it was really just,
I got pregnant and he got scared.
yeah.
But I thought the pregnancy was planned. Okay.
A lot of fear and being very unsure of what to do, how to do things, life, living so far away. Outside influences and voices on what I should do or shouldn't do took the biggest toll on me and kind of showed me in that moment I wasn't really as, strong or able to be the person I wanted to be at that time. And
Why did Caitlin smile when Brandon said he wasn't strong? You see, Jezebel, she knows. Jezebel goes after men who are, got some weakness going on with them.
it obviously trickled over into the next 3 years, and just kind of thankful we were able to get back to this point. So
What was our first impression of each other? Like in 2016?
when we saw each other for the very first
Oh,
time.
it was sweet. Literally.
So we planned to meet up where I played college basketball at. So we set up the whole little weekend where she came with
To Illinois. I drove to Illinois.
She drove to Illinois with a friend.
Which is crazy because I would never do this again.
I drove from Atlanta,
Georgia.
up to Illinois just for that because I still had
It was
my
like 7 hours, right? Something
7
like
or
that.
8, and I still had my
We drove
apartment.
9 hours.
Caitlin, you drove 9 hours for some eggplant. Be honest. I will never do. You've done it before. You've done it before. Girl, stop it.
Side story to that: when we first FaceTimed for the first time, I was extremely nervous, and it was so random because I drove up to my to the weight room where I was working at, sat in like an empty weight room by myself in my boss's office on FaceTime with her, and we're just sitting here like on FaceTime like.
The reason why Brandon FaceTimed Caitlin from his boss's office was because he couldn't do it from home. Because if he did it from home, Stephanie would know that he's cheating on her. So he couldn't do that. Okay.
Great. Okay, and speaking of the first time we met, like the very first time, so we actually figured this out a month ago. Maybe.
Yeah, we just found this out.
So we were talking about the first time we met, and we went back to go look at like the pictures and all that from the weekend. And it turns out the first day that we met was
Austin's
a year before
birthday.
Austin's birthday. Like it just, it's crazy.
I was kind of surprised by that revelation because I remember, I think ending of July or August of 2016 was when Caitlin was tweeting about Brandon. So to know that the first time they met was June 28, 2016, I was like, wow, so they knew each other before then. So if that was the first time they met, I'm very sure they started talking around April or May of 2016. So that was very insightful.
And it was Dope. I
Did
tried.
my last marriage end because of Josh?
I tried
How
sour
long have you been
cream.
following me? Because I've been divorced for 2 years.
So why did it end? I think it was so interesting how when it came to Caitlin's divorce, she really did not want to get into details as to what happened. But when it came to Brandon, oh my goodness, y'all, she was so quick to talk about what happened, their reconnection, everything. But when it came to her divorce, she wasn't trying to talk about it.
Answer that. Do you think Josh would have reached out to you if I didn't?
Yeah, I would have.
That was something that
that was a
me.
thing that we talked about a lot.
Because I didn't expect my call to turn into what it did, and then because it did, I was just like, how long would it have been before you called me? Like, if I didn't call, we wouldn't be here. Like,
I don't believe Brandon would have reached out at all.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we struggled.
But he told me, well, he says that he was planning to call by Austin's birthday.
No,
which was
absolutely.
only a few weeks.
It was, yeah, because I remember, and I had told her that same, at the
Austin
beginning of
does
the
have
year.
my cheeks.
Absolutely. I remember talking to my parents at the beginning of the year, and I was just like something has to change. I was like, Austin's turning 3 this year. I haven't met her. I haven't been around. Like, things have to change now.
I can't let another year go by.
Yeah, and I was just like, and I remember I sat them down at the beginning of the year and told them that. And so it was like, I think with telling them that then, and then obviously with, everything with COVID happening, and then we had...
So that was actually interesting to hear that Brandon actually had a discussion with his parents the beginning of 2020 that he wanted to reach out. But here's what was confusing for me. He said that, or Caitlin said that he planned to reach out when it was Lily's birthday. So if Brandon had a conversation with his parents the beginning of the year 2020, and he had plans on reaching out to Caitlin to talk to Lily June 2020, why would someone wait 5 months to reach out to someone? I didn't get that. So to be honest, y'all, I'm going to be honest with you. I felt like Brandon said that to his parents because they were on his back about Caitlin and Lily. I don't think he truly meant what he said. I think he just said that because it sounded good. Because to be honest, y'all, if you want to reach out to somebody, you're going to do it. You're not going to wait 5 months or how many months. You're not going to wait till their birthday. You're going to do it in that moment. I don't think Brandon ever had plans on reaching out. I just think he just gave his parents some story just for them to get off of his back.
Black Lives Matter movement, everything that was going on in the world, a lot was happening. It just kind of made you sit down and think and realize, like, one, life is short, things are happening way too much.
I can tell that he's dancing around the question.
Yeah, and then from there, I met Lil Mama, which, if
you read my caption, like, I pretty much put it all out there. Like, she knew, like, regardless of how many times I called him Josh, she knew it was her dad, and she straight up asked him, "Are you my daddy?" And it was really emotional, and she was wrapped around his finger immediately.
I don't believe Caitlin. Honestly, I don't. If by any chance Lily was calling Brandon her father throughout that entire weekend, I believe that Caitlin kind of coached her into it. Like, hey, there's this guy that you're going to meet. He's your dad. Keep calling him your dad. Like something like that. I don't believe Lily knew that Brandon was her father, even though he wasn't her father, unless Caitlin coached her into it.
Like I said, that was the weekend my parents got in a car accident, so I had to go to Tulsa to the hospital, and I didn't get back home till like 11, maybe even later. When I got home, him and Austin were cuddled in bed, sound asleep. Like, sound asleep together. But is it his daughter? Yes.
I was thinking, man, who asked that question?
Did Josh have any relations during the time apart?
no serious relationships.
He dated a girl.
For 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and was trying to get out of it for 3 of the weeks, so.
I want y'all to pay attention to this part because they are referring to Stephanie.
I will agree with that.
Like, it was very short, and it was
serious.
yeah, it was. I had no serious relationships.
He has like major regrets from that relationship.
Yeah, like a lot.
So I'm gonna start off with Brandon saying that he was in a relationship for 4 weeks. Then he said 6 weeks. Then he said 3 out of the 6 weeks he wanted to get out of the relationship. Right? When I heard that, I was like, that's a lie. I'm like, that's not true, because according to my math, y'all, Brandon and Stephanie were together for some months. At least, I want to say early 2018. And they got back together sometime in 2017 after he left Caitlyn. That wasn't 6 weeks, y'all. So I thought that was interesting that Brandon had like downplayed the time he was with Stephanie. Then I said to myself, I said, you know what, Adriel, you were not there. So don't say he's lying, even though I know deep down, y'all, he was with Stephanie for more than 6 weeks. So that's one. Two, Caitlyn was like, yeah, it wasn't serious. You know, he has regrets about that relationship. And I like, first of all, Caitlyn, how did you know it wasn't that serious? That's what Brandon told you, right? Second of all, her saying that, oh, he has major regrets about that relationship is like, girl, you don't even know that Brandon was talking about you to Stephanie. So don't get on your high horse to think that, oh, no, he didn't really like Stephanie. I was the one he wanted to be with. Like, I'm the one. Like, girl, stop it.
Do y'all plan to get back into a romantic relationship?
Did y'all?
I think we kind of knew that it would happen.
It was one of those things where it was like we knew
if we were back
like,
in each other's.
Like, because the thing is, I would tell, like, there's no, like, I can't be your friend kind of thing. Like, that was like a big thing I would say all the time.
I honestly didn't believe Brandon when he said that.
Even for a while, like when we first started coming back, and there was a lot of pushback. Obviously, like, I mean, for good reason, with Sarah not necessarily wanting to go all in with me. I kept telling her, like, I'm gonna be here regardless. I'm gonna be here for Austin, and all of that moving forward. And I was just like, but when it's like comes to me and you, I was like, it has to be us together, or we're just gonna have to, like, I'm gonna have to be her dad separately. That's it, because I can't, like, I couldn't be your friend. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't work for me. Like, I love you way too much to just be a friend to you. You know what I mean? So.
Brandon saying that I love you too much to just be your friend sealed the deal for me. I knew, y'all, he was lying. I absolutely knew he was lying, y'all. So, and that was something I noticed when I was watching the live, that I felt like Brandon was saying things that just sounded good. And at the same time, I remember just looking at him and thinking to myself, there's so much he's hiding, like there's so much he's not saying, there's so much things that he's just storing inside of him that he's just not saying. I wonder what it is, because a lot of the stuff to me didn't make sense. I honestly believed, y'all, that Brandon did not want to be with Caitlyn. It was also interesting for me because, y'all, this was my first time hearing Brandon speak outside of fitness. And also, too, anytime he did talk about fitness, his videos were typically were 2 minutes long or whatever. So this is my first time seeing Brandon speak for more than 2 minutes. And also, too, it allowed me to see his mindset about things. Like I said, when it came to Brandon, all I knew was fitness, you know, squats and kettlebells and stuff like that. So I got to see his mindset in this video. And to be honest, y'all, I was not pleased. I was like, man, I just feel like he's immature and all of that. Anyways, I'm going to give my thoughts on that too at the end of the video.
Yeah, every time if I even muttered I don't know if I can do it as much as I want to love you, I would just tell him I do see your change and I do see your effort, but I have my times where I doubt everything and I question you and I get mad at you when in that moment he doesn't deserve it. In that moment he hasn't done anything. It's just the demons from the past that grab you and they start choking you, and I told him, I was like, you don't deserve that. Like, I didn't deserve what happened over the past 3 years, but you don't deserve to be treated.
Also, y'all, Caitlyn was the one that wanted Brandon back. She talked about in her blogs how she would always call him and text him after the baby and everything, y'all. Caitlyn wanted Brandon back in her life. So when I hear her say stuff like, oh, he didn't do anything, like he hasn't done anything to deserve, like, but Caitlyn, you wanted him back. Like, out of the both of them, Caitlyn was the one who wanted the relationship back. So when she's painting this picture of, I didn't want to do it anymore. I was, I felt like I didn't have the strength to do it. Girl, you wanted that relationship. Just stop it.
How are we fighting the past demons?
I mean,
I definitely struggle more than he does, but his was like, he just needed to change and be better. And he's done that. Like, when I say he has not wavered once.
Dealing with, like, the demons and the issues and the hard times, every day you have to wake up and just kind of focus on choosing to, whether it's love or whether it's just making the right decisions or be mindful in the things that you do. Like, it takes continuous effort, especially to make a change. You can't, just make a change by being good for 2 days or 3 days. Because I even, when we would communicate a little bit in the past, like those few times, and I would say all the good things and whatnot for a day or two, and then, it's back to, bad actions and not responding or fear of whatever and feeling this shame where I can't come back and can't say anything else. So it's like just choosing and one, being supported, or with people that are also going to help you choose the right decisions and the right direction each day. Because making change, I'm telling you, it's hard. Like, you have to actively choose every single day to be working towards change or a goal or whatever the case may be. So, like, I wake up every day with the only, like, major goal in mind is making sure Sarah's good, Austin's good, however I can make things easier around the house and life. Like, that's why I put toothpaste on a toothbrush every morning, every night. It's just like, I choose to do that every single day, small things like that, clean up or whatever the case may be, but it's just like choosing to.
So in the clip, I felt like Brandon was dancing around the question. I don't think he truly dealt with whatever issues he had. She said that they had past demons. Here's the thing, y'all. If y'all really don't have demons, please do not claim that you have demons. If you have issues, then you have issues. Now, in their case, I do believe there were demons operating through their relationship, and I will go and talk more about that later on in the season. So yeah, I do believe there were demons operating in their relationship because Caitlyn had the Jezebel spirit and Brandon had demons he was dealing with too, which was one of them, the spirit of lust. So yeah, they did have demons in their relationship. I think Brandon was dancing around the question. Now, here's the thing, y'all. When I was watching this video and I heard Brandon say that if he had to clean up and, put toothpaste on her toothbrush, that was the moment I knew that, oh my goodness, Brandon lacks vision. He has no vision for himself. He doesn't know his purpose. And I was like, oh my goodness. This entire time, I thought Brandon was a man of vision. He wasn't, y'all. He had no direction in his life. Because in my mind, I'm like, why are you going over there to clean up? Like, what? So that was when I realized that, there was more things going on with Brandon that I didn't know. Like I said, in 2018, I really thought his life was okay, like great and stuff. He just needed to give his life to Jesus Christ. Nah, y'all, there were many more things going on in Brandon's life that start to unravel in 2022 and 2023. So yeah, in that moment, y'all, I knew that Brandon lacked vision. He had no direction and he did not know his purpose in life.
What was your wake-up call?
Mine? Mm-hmm. I feel like it was just over, it was kind of over time. I think that there was a point where I think one of the biggest ones was when
He's dancing again.
Dewan passed, and that kind of like later on throughout that year, I kind of started to like just think about like life in general, and then actually I think I talked to you that weekend or maybe the week after or something.
Now that shocked me, y'all. When Brandon's friend died, that was April 28, 2019. Caitlin was still married to her ex-husband. So for the fact that she reached out to him during that time, I'm like, And another thing too that I thought about when he said that, I was like, I think he slipped up. I don't think he was supposed to say that. I think he said it by mistake. So for the fact that she reached out to him in 2019, I'm thinking, did her husband or ex-husband, did he find out about that? Or, just going through so many things like, hey, did she reach out to Brandon throughout her entire marriage? So that was something I was thinking about.
So when Austin asked, "Are you my daddy?" Josh just looked at me because he's like, "This is not my place to answer this right now." And I like immediately teared up, and I was like, we didn't tell her immediately because, of course, he had been back for 2 days. Like, I didn't feel comfortable letting her know he's been back for 2 days but gone for 3 years. Like, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if he was truly going to change. And so I was just like, he's mommy's friend, Josh, you remember maybe? And she was like, will you be my daddy?
Even though Brandon and Caitlin were laughing at that moment, to me, I was like, oh my goodness, that's kind of sad because, y'all, Lily was 3 years old at the time. So for her to meet Brandon for the first time, mind you, she had never seen Brandon. Brandon was a stranger. So for her to go up to a stranger and say to him, will you be my daddy? It just felt very sad. Even though they laughed about it, y'all, it felt really sad, for a little girl to go up to a strange man and ask him, can you be my daddy?
Yes, she would.
Who?
And she will. Change her last name. Both of them. Just one.
I want y'all to remember this because it comes back later on in the story.
Yeah, well, I'll be Swan soon. They have questions about the Shade Room. A lot of people asked about Shade Room.
What? Oh, that was, so I didn't answer the part where it said kids. I just left it blank and then they filled it in. But like I said, it was
stupid to put yourself on there because you were in life for clout.
So these are the times where we talk about there's still some things we have to work through. But yeah, it's just a terrible.
I didn't really like what Caitlin did in that moment.
It got to a point without going to even a lot of detail where like I struggled to even
be around. Sorry, I bullied you in the Shade Room comments.
I struggled to even be around my family, and it was one of those things where like one bad decision leads to another bad decision, which leads to another bad decision. It starts to like pile on, and then next thing you know, you're deep in some shit that's not you.
Y'all don't apologize for bullying him on the Shade Room. He deserved every last bit of it. Then.
Well, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think they're apologizing to me as a person now, seeing, but not necessarily like then at the moment it was terrible.
I'm not sorry for posting it and calling you out.
I'm not saying anybody should be sorry. I'm not looking for apologies from anybody.
I
got my family.
When I was watching this clip, I'm like, oh my goodness, Caitlin is so embarrassing. Like, she is so embarrassing. Like, and not only that, y'all, she seemed to be very annoying during this live as well.
Right with God, I'm good. Like I said, change was hard, and trying to make those changes are challenging.
They said she ain't sorry. Yeah, I was actually gonna say raise your hand if you've ever bullied Josh. Out of curiosity.
There were.
At that point, I was like, man, Brandon, if you need help, please blink twice. Because Caitlyn is not it at all.
I feel like there was some messages recently. I could go find them where it's like, "Oh, you guys are so great. I'm happy for you." Yada yada. And all these things. If I scroll up, it's like, "Deadbeat, you guys." And I'm like, oh, things have changed.
I know Brandon was very uncomfortable. I hated the fact that he was playing along with it and didn't actually stand up for himself. Because here's the thing, y'all. Brandon did some stuff. Caitlyn also did some stuff, too. She never talked about her wrongs ever in their relationship. And that was kind of annoying because the focus was solely on Brandon. It's like, Caitlyn, you did some mess up stuff, too. I didn't like that. And also, maybe the reason why Caitlyn didn't take accountability for her part in the relationship was because her part was private. See, the public didn't know that she was sleeping with Nami and other men. The public didn't know that she was lying on Brandon. The public didn't know all the evil she was doing. So it was easier to pin everything on Brandon and keep the focus on Brandon. So I think that's the reason why she never talked about her stuff in this live.
I mean,
Okay,
the bullying.
you guys are my writers. I did not realize how many people had me. Who set us up initially? Josh set us up.
Caitlyn, I need you to tell the truth. And I thought it was interesting that her followers, they would leave messages or comments saying that, I've been following you guys' love story since 2016, and y'all don't even know how they met. I thought that was interesting. So Caitlyn never told her followers how her and Brandon met, but she told them everything else about the relationship. I wonder why you didn't tell them, Caitlyn? Because if you told them the truth, they would know that, oh, you took another woman's boyfriend. You didn't want your followers to know about that. Let's continue on.
That was pretty good, huh?
Did you move out of Kaya's when y'all reconnected?
Why are we calling this place Kaya's? I own majority. So Kaya actually, it was just truthfully weird timing. She was moving out anyways. You're pulling my hair.
What?
Yeah, one of my hair strings. Our lease was coming to an end anyways, and with her starting school and having to cut back on a lot of hours. Oh yeah, it was just a better situation for her to move back in with her family while she finishes school to not have to pay rent. So it honestly was just ironic timing, but she comes over all the time.
Okay, so we're going to talk about this. So when they asked her if she was moving out of best friend's place, I thought that was interesting because they called it best friend's place. Now, I want y'all to remember that because later on in the story, I find out why they refer to the townhouse as best friend's townhouse. So I thought that was interesting. Too, she said that she was already moving out. Remember when I said in the previous episode or previous 2 episodes ago that I said that her best friend had already made plans on moving out? Y'all, Caitlyn basically confirmed what I was feeling. Now, I do believe the story she shared in that clip was what her best friend told her. But there were other things I found out later on that didn't add up to what she said. And later on in the story, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the whole housing situation. But yeah, y'all, her best friend had already made plans of moving out. So it wasn't ironic, though. It wasn't ironic, but yeah, she already had plans to move out.
I had the cookies set out. I even had to eat some of the cookies to let Austin know Santa came, drink the milk, set up the Christmas little music, and have everybody's stocking set up with.
They get it. They get how Christmas goes.
What?
I thought that was rude of Caitlyn to cover his mouth while he was speaking.
I mean, we never had a Christmas together. I thought y'all were interested.
Well, I want to talk about actual Christmas.
We haven't got there yet. We on
I
Christmas
know,
Eve.
because you still talking about what...
Man, if you here to watch, then you're going to be here for all my stories.
Ray Austin had an amazing Christmas. And then we went to my parents' house and had Christmas there. And Josh wasn't disrespectful on Christmas like he is right now.
Oh, you were making a joke. That was... You're funnier than that, baby.
That wasn't supposed to be a joke. It was pleading for you to stop making ugly faces.
So this is what I was thinking about. I was thinking in my head that the way Caitlyn was speaking about Brandon in her blogs and her tweets back in 2017, 2018, 2019, I'm like, yo, I honestly believe she talks to him in that manner in real life. So, because that's kind of what I'm seeing in this live when she's covering his mouth and, you know, just saying stuff or whatever. So in my head, I'm like, if Caitlyn speaks to Brandon disrespectfully, is he okay with that? Is he fine with that? You know, that was something I was thinking about. So, yeah.
What was I about to... Oh, how do I like Oklahoma? Honestly, even though I'm from Atlanta and like it's a major city, I'm not really a major city kind of person. Like Sarah said, we don't really... Like, neither of us are like need to go out and do things and just kind of, you know, be out like that. So I feel like Oklahoma is more of my speed as far as just relaxing.
He loves all the fields.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big, like, outdoors, enjoy God's creation kind of thing. Like, whatever.
I thought it was interesting that Brandon said that he's not the type of person to go out, because when Brandon was living in Atlanta, y'all, Brandon would go out. He would go out on the weekends. Even it got to a point where I'm like, man, does he ever stay home? But yeah, Brandon used to go out in Atlanta. So I thought it was interesting that he said that, you know, the big city is not his vibe and he doesn't like to go out like that. So Oklahoma is good for him, or OKC is good for him. Yeah, he's lying.
Like, yo, this is crazy. Just being able to, like, be out in the land and just kind of see just the earth and trees and all that. It's dope.
So that's that when it comes to my commentary. Now I'm going to talk about what I thought about after I watched the live. So one of the things I thought about in my head was that I was like, man, Brandon he's immature. He has a lot of growing up to do. And I can see why he was comfortable being with Caitlyn, because she herself too was immature as well. So I was like, yo, he has a lot of growing up to do. Another thing I thought was that he lacked accountability. I was like, I don't think he has anyone in his life that truly keeps him accountable for his actions. Another thing, I was like, man, he lacks vision. He has no direction in his life, because honestly, y'all, if Brandon was a man who had vision, he would not be with Caitlyn. When you have vision, you know where your life is headed towards, and you're not going to entertain or mingle with people that are not aligned to your path, right? That's not aligned to your vision. And I don't think he knew what his vision was. I don't think he had any direction at all. Another thing I was thinking about, I was like, man, did he actually consult like someone that would give him wise advice about this whole thing? That was another thing. Something else I thought about too was that I remember just watching the live and I was like, yeah, there's no way Brandon and I could have met or dated back in 2018 or 2019, because I honestly believe he would have ran away from me. If Brandon and I dated, I would have, challenged him. I'll say, hey, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What are your goals? You got to stick to it. That would have scared him. Like I said, I feel like with Caitlyn, she doesn't challenge him. I don't think she even cares about his aspiration and his goals. She just cares about him being in her life. So, yeah, he would have ran away from me. Brandon would have ran away from me. Another thing I thought about was, I thought to myself, like, Brandon knew exactly who Caitlyn was. He knew the type of woman she was. He knew what she was capable of doing. He really saw her for who she was back in 2016, 2017, and he still chose to get back with her. I became irritated with that. Another thing I thought about was Caitlyn. Y'all, this was the first time I saw Caitlyn speak for more than 2 minutes as well. I'm like, man, she sounds like Ariana Grande back when Victoria Monet used to write songs for her. That's what I was thinking in my head. Another thing I was thinking about, also too, I need to mention this. I'm watching them, right, on the live. I'm watching them, and I'm like, there's something about these two that's bringing them together. Now, like I said, I do believe demons were behind the relationship, moving in and out. I do believe the devil was behind it. But I remember thinking, man, there's something that the devil is using to bring these two together. There's something about Caitlyn that Brandon is attracted to, and it's not her looks. There's something about Brandon that Caitlyn is also attracted to, and it's not about the looks. Like, there's something that the enemy is using to bring these two together, and I just couldn't figure out what it was when I was watching the live. Not too long after that, y'all, the Holy Spirit ministered to me, and I knew exactly what it was, and I'm like, oh, it makes sense. So that was something I thought about. Another thing, y'all, while I was watching the live and I'm, hearing Caitlyn speak, I'm like, man, she reminds me so much of Tony. Like, she just reminds me so much of Tony. And that was when I realized why the Lord had me attend Tony and James Church. And I'm going to do a separate episode about that. So that's that. And is there anything else I want to talk about? I think that's pretty much it. Also, too, I want to mention, I did not like the way they were talking about Stephanie. I didn't like that because it's like, Brandon, you cheated on her. Like, you cheated on Stephanie, like, just let it go. I didn't like the fact that Caitlyn was like, oh, yeah, he has regrets about that relationship. It wasn't anything serious. Like, I didn't like that. That didn't sit well with me at all. Like, just leave Stephanie out of it. What else again? I think that's about it. By the end of this whole video, I said, Lord, she can have him. I'm like, Caitlyn can have him. I don't want him. The boy is hers. That was what I was saying. I don't want him because if he's going to be immature, I don't want to deal with the man who's going to be immature. So I was like, yeah, Lord, she can have him. I don't care about this whole marriage journey. She can have him. So yeah, y'all, the next episode, I'm going to still talk about some of the things that happened in the month of July. I'm going to talk about what the enemy was using to bring these two together and keep them together too. And also, I probably will get into some dream interpretations too of some previous dreams I had back in 2018 or 2019. So yeah, y'all, that is the end of my commentary and my thoughts of Caitlyn and Brandon's IG Live. So I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.